6 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order, the December 3rd Dune City Council regular session. Roll call wise, Rich Olson will not be able to make it. He is stuck at work. And please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next item is consideration of the agenda, and you guys also have a screenshot from Airbnb. So I think for Robert's rules, if 2/3 of you are in favor of adding this to the agenda, we can have a discussion and potential action to direct staff. Otherwise, we'll have a brief discussion and no action at the end under, for the good of the order, I'll start the discussion. So if anyone would like to motion to amend the agenda.
I move to amend the agenda and add the rental item.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, Melissa. So Susan, motion to add. And Melissa, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous. We'll add that item as 5.5, right between 5 and 6, if that works for everyone. So, given that, is there anything else that we need to adjust on the agenda? If not, I need a motion to approve the rest of the agenda as published.
So I make a motion to approve the agenda as you just indicated.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous as well. Thank you. So next item is announcements and correspondence. We have a holiday get-together this Saturday. It's on the bulletin board. It's been in the last 2 agendas. I put it on the Dune City Facebook page today.
It's on the website.
I got 5 thumbs up.
Nice.
I don't know if that means they're coming or they're just excited that we're coming.
So know where we'll be.
Yeah.
So that's the question, is I guess, who up there is planning on attending? Oh, very good. Yay,
All right.
thank you.
I'm bringing you stuff.
Perfect.
Right, we're supposed to, right?
Yes.
And I'm making my
There's
mother,
gonna be gifts for me, right?
Oh, wait.
Yes, other food.
I'm gonna give you with my presents
No, good.
and good food.
Good.
I'm making my mom make food
sure
too.
that'll-
Oh, nice.
You're what?
My mom make food.
Really? All
Yes,
right.
I told her she's making food,
Okay.
so.
Well, now it's a party.
So the only thing, in case anybody's looking for ideas, we're kind of missing at this point is at least one more pie. That's what I've been told. So,
I can make a pie.
brownies.
okay, perfect. Perfect, and we have an apple pie, so, yeah.
I'll bring a pie, a little pie of sort.
Right.
Thank you.
Very good.
Anything else you can think you're short of that we
That's all I was told today, so I think we're good.
usually bring a ham? I'll bring a ham.
Yeah, that's probably good, because we have a lot of people, yeah.
All right.
Right now, we have a ham and a turkey, but that'd be good.
All right, and then the next item, this is just information at this point. The state sends out, the university does it for the state. Here's our population estimate for the end of 2025. They say we've grown by 8 people.
It's good times.
And, well, oddly, we grew by, their estimate is 5 homes, but only 8 people. So, I mean, there's a lot of second homes and there's a lot of very small households here. Our average household is like 1.78 or something like that according to the state. So,
2.1 is what
We're
it's.
maintaining at
Household size
least.
2.1.
okay. There you go.
Now, does that,
Well, then that doesn't quite
I think they're
jive.
quite fat.
do they count people who have, like, say, a house in Eugene and a vacation house in Big City?
You're counted at your primary residence.
So where
So those are the residents.
those are the ones that are filing tax returns or whatever.
Yeah, driver's license
Density
addresses,
address.
things like that, yeah.
Okay, so.
Wherever you vote, kind of thing. That's the stuff they look at, the precincts and how many people are in the precinct, and we get similar from Wayne County at election time. There's this many population, this many registered voters, here's how many cast the ballot.
Great.
And they all jive. We usually have 600 or 700 cast a ballot, and they say there's like 800 registered out of 1,400, so.
Yeah,
That makes
because
sense.
you have almost 900 housing units and at 2.1, that should be
Right.
another 400, 500 people.
Right.
Word like that, so.
So just a question, it
Yeah.
says, like, we have 1,478 total population. Population and housing units, 891.
Right.
So what's the difference between the two?
The 891 is houses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the number of dwellings?
Yes,
Well,
so there's another breakdown they give us, it's single-family homes versus manufactured homes.
Got it,
There's a couple of duplexes listed, I think, and we have some RV spaces
got
that are long-term rentals, so anyway, there's,
it. Okay, got
but
it.
yeah, it breaks down about 891 places you could live in Dixie.
Population of housing.
All right, that doesn't require any action. And then item 5.5, it came to staff's attention that we had a short-term rental showed up online that did not have a permit or a license or whatever we call it, that hadn't gone through the process. So if my understanding is correct, this used to be a short-term rental, and when we went through the ordinance and changed the fees and the process, they chose not to renew,
They
correct?
said they were gonna do it long-term.
Okay, so we have heard there was long-term, but it shows up on a short-term rental as a 14-day, and it is available, depending on who you ask, because we just found this out recently, but somebody's there but moving out. And did the occupant tell you they weren't a 30-day rental?
They didn't say, they just said they
Okay.
were there till the 10th.
Okay. And then it's bookable. I mean, a number of you have tried this. It shows up as a 14-day minimum right now, which is a short-term rental under the law. So, anyway,
Where is Laguna East located?
It's in Westlake, it's up here on the hill, if you go across the bridge.
May I ask a question?
yeah, of course.
Did the person state how long they had been there?
No.
So it may in fact be rented for 30 days, but it's also showing up as a short-term rental. So the question is, I mean, it's not a crime to show up, but it is a crime to, technically, to rent it for less than 30 days. And so it's available.
But if they're advertising it for less than 30 days, to me, there's a foul there.
It's a concern, right?
My question would be is, have they rented it for less than 30 days? Or is this person that's leaving been there for longer than 30 days?
And I think at this point, it's hearsay. I don't know how we could verify that. Short of subpoena and records, I suppose, but, or if they had a signed lease that was, they're moving on the 10th and they've been there since September 10th or something.
And there was a discrepancy in that statement as well. The renters told you the 10th, so we were assuming it was December 10th. When I mentioned that to the property owner, I was told it was January 10th. And I did check that on Airbnb, and that's where you see that, because on the 10th of January is the document that you see in front of you, where I could then, it was blacked
Becomes
out,
available.
it becomes available on
Okay.
January 10th.
So potentially, we just gotta keep an eye on it, and, because right now, it looks like if it's rented out that far, it's fine. And if it becomes a short-term rental, then it's in violation of the ordinance.
What did the property owner say in regards to your inquiry?
That they rent it for 30 days or more.
Okay.
Should we
So
ask
is
them
there-
to change their minimum to 30 days on Airbnb?
That's the question. I mean, what kind of documentation do we want the staff to have in order to, talk to, because we don't want to call somebody untruthful. So
Yeah.
it's
Part of
like,
the
what kind
problem
of,
is, they have two houses up there right next to each other that are the same deal.
yeah, it is not just one, it's
And
two.
it's, I mean, anymore, you're scouring the rentals online, and then
He's
Eeyore's
following up.
driving by. So
Right.
when 1 week it's an Alaska license plate and the next week it's an Oregon license plate, one might wonder what's going on. And we've had this in the past where somebody says, oh yeah, we're here for a week. And then they say, oh, I was supposed to say something else, I'm sorry.
Well, and I can testify that there's a similar restriction in Hawaii, and I rented an Airbnb over there, and I was going to be there for 10 days, and they said, but you're really renting it for a month, because once you
And then you
move
can check out
in,
early.
I can't rent it after, until 30 days elapses. But the person was giving me a 10-day rate
Right.
and blocking a 30-day period.
That's how you get around that
Right.
short-term rental
Right.
ordinance, right?
But I think this person should be required to have a 30-day minimum.
It also
Just
talks
like
about
it changed in
refunding it.
Airbnb then.
It also what?
Talks about getting a refund if you don't stay the whole time.
So someone has to pay for 30 days and then,
And then if you don't stay the whole
Or on
time,
paper, they're signed up
according
for
to
30 days.
the Airbnb printout, it looks like you can get refunded for part of it.
Right, so everybody books 30 days, and everybody leaves after the weekend and gets a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice system.
Well, I would say that just like in Hawaii, this person could not rent this place within 30 days of the previous rental, regardless of how short the stay ends up actually being. And that they would have to have a 30-day minimum advertised here. You know,
So we can, I mean, next step is really to follow up with the owner and say, you know, convince us.
Yeah.
So if that makes sense to everybody, I don't think we have to vote on anything. I mean, we have an ordinance that's, we spent a year working through the details. And so I think it's easy enough to say, convince us, right? I mean,
and by the
the
way,
evidence looks like it's less than a 30-day rental.
it's obvious that they're on the radar. So
Right.
it's like, you know,
Because Hawkeye scours the vacation rentals.
Our
He
code
gets paid
enforcement,
for it.
yeah, right.
It's his job now.
Well, can I add another twist?
Of course.
Because I've been looking at some of the Airbnb. What about if there's been one that, I guess, used to be a short-term rental, but they currently do not have a permit. You go on Airbnb and they're blocked out till next May of 2026.
Okay.
And you could go on there and rent it for a week. Now, I didn't go as far as the payment, but I clicked on it for a week and I
It's
was able
available-
to get through all the
It's
way to the
available
payment.
now for a week.
No, it's available May of
Yeah,
2026. So they're doing like, almost like a
Right, and if they get enough
Pre-sale,
reservations, they'll
so to
come in and,
but they currently are not SDR approved.
right.
so see, I don't think we can we can't rule on that because I've never,
They haven't done
nothing's
anything.
been anything.
Okay, so that's what I want to know, okay.
Yeah.
And that would make sense, right? If they get 40 rentals next year, they'll come in and sign
I think
up,
they're-
otherwise they'll start canceling.
They're
you know,
scoping
6
for
months in
the
advance.
market.
So they're allowed to do the pre,
I guess, and
Okay.
it's shocking that the rental webpages let you do that too, because it's hard to manage, you know, when somebody cancels a rental and they say, I will place you in something similar. When we were going through the ordinance, Todd talked about that, right? Like if one comes off the list, they were trying to, is he Casa?
yes.
Casa, right? And he would say, we're trying to get you an equivalent, but when it's 8 months in advance, it's one price, and when it's a month in advance, it's a different price, and they were having trouble trying to find somebody with the same size unit or the same price range. And so they hate that, you know, in theory, the industry hates it, but yeah, I think there are people that are toying with it, or gaming the system.
Well, to
the
do
pro- I was just gonna say, the property I've been watching, they are in a monthly rental right now.
Okay.
But I just noticed they're on Airbnb and they're totally blocked out until May of next year. So far they've been okay because every time I drive by that car or that truck, it's been there for the full month.
Okay.
So there's no
This-
weekly Alaska plate this week,
Right.
Washington plate
And
next
this
week.
one was similar, this used to be a short-term rental, but they decided they were not gonna renew when we came up with the new fees and then.
Well, that's the same thing in that truck.
Yeah.
I think
So-
the other thing we'll be able, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so to be clear in our instructions to staff, if somebody is renting this for a month, but they're getting a refund for only staying a week, then really they haven't rented it for 30 days. And number two, if a person leaves early, that doesn't mean that that property can go back into the open market until the first 30-day period has elapsed.
I think that would be strict compliance, right?
Right.
You'd block it out for 30 days, and you can only rent it 2 days out of that 30 days, that's your business decision.
Yeah. And that's what Hawaii was doing.
Yeah.
They were saying, the calendar is here. And then the property owner said, well, you know, here's the thing, here's your 10 days. He says, will you give me the option of putting the 30 days before,
Right.
during,
It
or
starts 10
after?
days before, and
He
it's,
was trying to manage his 30-day window. He wanted to backdate it because he didn't have anybody there,
Right.
so that he could rent it right after we left. So it's like,
And you become a scoundrel
right,
when you move in and you didn't know it.
right. So,
I think the best advice to tell you to have your staff do is to monitor it, because according to the Airbnb site right now, it shows available from February 10th all the way
Out, right?
through July 1st, and then it's blocked out again. So it seems like they are renting it, but they have a block of time that they're trying to get covered, so.
Well, that's because you can choose how many dates you want open on Airbnb. 3
No,
months,
that's-
4 months, 5 months.
But I mean, they're just gonna have to watch it and
All right,
then send out, you
we'll
know.
follow with the owner.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, you have,
Not we can do it
Clarity?
now.
you guys good?
Well, I think we can go and talk to them.
The only thing I maybe clarify more, if they count on the Airbnb, now reimburse them for less than 30 days. This way, they're sticking to the rules of 30 days. I'm not sure how Airbnb works,
Right.
but if you book it, you shouldn't be able to get a refund, because that's getting around the 30 days.
Right.
I don't know. That
And I
could be
don't
a
know
thought,
if
too.
Airbnb views that, and there's multiple rental platforms, and they're all slightly different too.
Yeah,
So we didn't
and I
put
don't know how they
any
all work.
specifics in the ordinance after here.
Airbnb, it's up to the owner to give a refund
Okay.
if they want a refund. So if that's how they're doing it, and they want to do a refund because they know that that's how they're working,
Okay.
they're being in the system.
And then it wouldn't show up in an Airbnb receipt.
We can't go into their contracts, that's out of
And
our.
at the same time, in theory, then if it's less than 30 days, you're supposed to get the 5% room tax back to the city. And long-term rentals don't show up
Correct.
at the state or the city because they're residential units, they're not rental, they're not motel rooms or short-term rentals, they don't pay the 5% room tax.
But I have a question
So
in
the states
regards
probably
to
get
that.
stiffed as well.
Exactly, with the 5% that they're supposed to be paying, there's, getting around that with that, so is that right? Does that give the city the right to remove the ability to have a permit?
They
Because
don't have
of,
one,
pardon me?
but they don't have one at all.
No,
No,
but
but
if
if
they
they
decided
did
to pay it.
apply
If they
for
did.
one to refuse their permit.
Right, because we
Yeah.
talked about violators
Because-
aren't just gonna be renewed, they're gonna get
Correct.
reviewed. And we've been verifying who's paying room tax too, it's only 27 of them, it's easy to ask about one address and
Because if they're
say,
gonna
it's
violate,
come to our attention, that may get the state's attention as well, but
Yeah, I can ask them,
they have a tax collector.
yeah, I can ask
that's
her.
gonna violate, because then that throws us with the state in an issue.
Right, we're both getting shortchanged.
Well, it's just gonna put a red flag on us with the state, which we don't want.
When you get a short-term rental, you have to pay the tax. Somebody gets it,
Right,
so if the state's getting
when
something.
it's all permitted, but yeah,
Well, I mean, even if it's not a short-term rental, if it's through Airbnb or Vrbo or wherever,
yeah,
they're paying the tax through there.
right,
Airbnb collects
Right,
tax, so they would be
collect, right.
collected.
right, the state share, but not the city share, because they don't have a permit to do the city. Okay. All right, we'll keep working on that. And then item 6 is executive session. For an annual review discussion, we'll go into the back room for a few minutes. Oh, I have to read the script, don't I? I'm sorry. This is a very formal step. Dune City Council will now meet in executive session for the purpose to review and evaluate the employment-related performance of the chief executive officer of any public body, a public officer, employee, or staff member who does not request an open hearing. The executive session is held pursuant to ORS 192.660, paragraph 2, item I, which allows city council to meet in executive session for the city administrator's performance review. Representatives of the news media shall be allowed to attend the executive session. I don't believe we have any press. All other members of the audience are asked to remain in the council chambers while we leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and you're welcome to wait until we return. The time is now 6:20. 6:20. And then any action, we will come back.
I just turned it down, sorry.
Okay,
Don't stand on the chair.
all right. You guys ready? We will call this meeting back to order, the public part at 6:40. So for purposes of annual employment, the contract is ongoing, and I will entertain a motion as to any adjustments.
I would like to propose that
Please.
our city manager receive a 10% increase in her annual pay and be awarded an additional week of paid vacation in recognition of the outstanding job she's doing for the city.
My second.
Third.
How many do you staff up?
All right. All right.
There you go.
Well, all those in favor?
Aye.
Sounds unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lila.
Thank you for all you
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you. Okay, and now item 7, our work session on business licensing. So we have a suggestion from, now that we have a code enforcement person, he's got a suggestion. The entire chapter is in your packet, and if you go through it, it is a little bit confusing because this was stolen from another entity that had a lot of kinds of business licensing. So it basically covers all the types of businesses, and then there's a section that says, except we're only gonna require licenses of these couple of categories. And so it can be difficult when there's work going on and phone calls about noise or hours or whatever, and it's like, that doesn't require a license or doesn't require a license. So, anyway, tonight is discussion, we'll take public comments as well. This is just work session for who wants to change what, or do we want to change it? And then, because it's an ordinance, there would be a public hearing, another public, time to post it, but anyway. Susan's got notes, you want to start, Susan?
I do have notes.
Please.
Before you start, Susan, can I just ask for a point of clarification? Last time I got this chapter 111, and this is all section 120.
Yes, because I did that, because I took it from the new code, the codified code, which they changed the chapter.
Right.
So, but then it's confusing, so that's the reason why I put both in there in your packet.
Right.
So-
Which one is the current?
So the codified version is the second half of our packet, right?
Yes,
The new number.
yes, it is the same, so
Same words, just,
there's
Different
slight,
chapter number.
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
and there's slight variations just because of lawyer.
So yeah, we should all work, let's all work on the new one, just so that if we're making revisions, because we'll start talking about page numbers and that sort of thing, and did I cover you adequately, Igor, or you want to say anything before we go crazy?
So just so I'm clear, we're gonna be talking about ordinance 206 and the words in there?
Yes,
Okay. The only thing my concern would be, I know the current application now talks about people having a CCB or an LCOB license. Well, the problem is, some people are, how can I say, handymen
Right,
who don't have CCBs.
right,
Some people here cut grass, who may have 8 to 10 customers, but they're not with the state, licensed with the state. So then you have people who wash windows,
right.
they don't get CCBs, so where would they all fall?
Well, right now, they would be the ones that don't need a license, and that's the discussion.
Yeah, it's
So my
unfair.
understanding is, the old 206 was the categories that generated complaints and potentially had the highest risk. If you had someone cleaning windows, it's one thing, but if you have someone re-roofing your home and they don't have liability insurance and a contractor's license, and it goes bad, nothing, it's A, if someone falls off the roof, B, you have a leaky roof when it's all done, and your structure suffers and the occupants suffer. So that's just my understanding, because this goes back a few years, but most cities don't have, I mean, if they have a carve out, it's like one license type, like, we're not gonna worry about home occupancy permits, or we are. But I've never seen a city where some actual license, you know, people with business licenses other places work in your city, and there's no, so, you know, that's for the discussion.
If they're working in the city, they should have to have a business license.
From a city perspective, that's the typical, right? So that you track them all and you verify they have liability insurance.
They're
and they can
working in
operate.
our city and they are profiting from it.
So a window cleaner would need a business license.
If they were a
And spinners-
professional window cleaning business.
Right.
Spinners out of Florence do a lot of windows out here and they do pay a license every year.
Well, that's good, I'm glad.
But not
So
all of them,
What
and that's the
Igor,
problem.
Right.
what Igor was saying is, what about the person who's cutting grass?
And technically, they should be a landscape company, right?
Technically, but.
Unless it's your. you know,
True, but
neighbor
some of them
14.
are not licensed with that, what's that, I can't even. Yeah, I wrote
Or
it down.
landscapers board or whatever.
It's an OLCB.
Yeah.
That's a state board.
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
are they in violation if they're not?
I don't think
Is
they
there an
are.
allowance to cut lawns?
I think to
without
get
being a
licensed,
landscaper?
you have to actually, I think license with the state, don't hold me to it, but I checked a few years ago when I'm for my HOA.
Mhm.
That's if you wanna, drop pesticides on the ground, you need to be registered with the state.
Okay.
But a lot of landscapers could just fly under the radar, and still be landscapers without registering with the state. As long as they're not cutting trees, they're doing, you know,
And they don't apply any
they
chemical.
don't apply any
poisons or-
pesticides
Mm,
or other chemicals onto people's lawns.
Gotcha.
But then the other problem is, just to add a little, like I have a painter guy who, he's in the process supposedly of getting his CCB, but he's been doing painting in town.
Mhm. I think that violates state law, because painters are licensed contractors, and
Yeah.
I got a guy that gave me a card once that said, license pending. And so I called the state, and I go, is that really a category? They go, no, that's like being pregnant. You either are or you are not.
True.
There is no,
Well, that's the story I gave.
I'm
because
working on it.
I'm still working on it.
That's not a status for people that have a business.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, yeah, that is an illegal business. You either have a license to be a painter or whatever, or you don't.
We also have a DBA or something with the state as well, I would think.
All right,
Well, according to the Oregon Landscaper Contractor Board, the things that require a license are plant or install lawns, shrubs, vine, trees, or nursery stock, and the preparation of property on which they will be installed. This includes adding or incorporating soil amendments, rototilling, or grading, or to install or repair irrigation systems or maintain irrigation systems with the use of compressed air, or to plan, install, maintain, or repair arbors, decks, patios, driveways, fences, retaining walls, walkways, landscape edging, or ornamental water features, or to install, maintain, or repair drainage systems or ornamental water features. It doesn't say anything in here about grass cutting.
so if you strictly trim shrubs and mowed lawns,
You don't need a license.
you wouldn't be a landscaper.
Right.
You'd be
Yeah.
lawn care. whatever,
But if
okay.
you are advertising,
What if you're not advertising?
If you're
Most
performing
everybody
any
working
level
out
of
here
a
is.
job,
Well, I mean, let's say you got your high school student, the Boy Scout who lives around the corner, he comes over and he mows your grass every week. He's not out there
No.
running a
No, I agree, there's
And that's
exceptions.
not a business, right?
That's not a business.
That's one
you
kid that mows
can't
your
make
lawn.
more than
So-
$500 a year.
I understand. So like the person that I used to be a paper boy, but now you won't find a paper boy in the United States. They're all being delivered by adults,
Yeah,
to the extent that newspapers are
And they
still a thing.
they make more than $500 a year too, because
Right.
they gotta deliver 300 of them to make a pencil.
Well, you know, I used to mow grass when I was a teenager. I made more than $500, and that was 40 years ago,
Me
50
too.
years ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know where the 500 number comes in, but
State of Oregon.
the point I was trying to key into before Susan starts is Igor said something about handymen. There are some things that handymen do that don't require a CCB. Am I right?
Right.
Okay, I mean, what if you have somebody who comes and cleans your rain gutters? Does he need he needs a business license if he's advertising. But what if he's just a kid next door that comes over and cleans your rain gutter? That's
It
what I
goes
read.
up the ladder and falls off, what happens?
Well, that's on the homeowner. That's why you have homeowner's insurance.
Well, and that's part of why cities license businesses, because
True.
along with that,
True.
you get liability insurance. That's one of our requirements.
I mean, in my yard, most of the time, if I mow the grass, I get stung by a bee. That's on me, you know? But I was just gonna say that what Igor's point is he's looking for greater definition, right, Igor?
Yeah, because I could see the little, the kid around the block who's doing occasional cutting.
Doesn't have a truck with a
He
magnet.
doesn't have a truck, but when I see a truck with a trailer being pulled,
Exactly.
he's got the name on the side,
Yeah.
Jim's Landscaping, call,
Their business.
We totally agree with you.
Yeah.
We totally agree with you. I just think that we can over-regulate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I go over to Duke's house and help him fix something, that I guess I have to get a business.
One of you
license.
two gotta get a license, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So back to you, Susan, sorry.
But on that, and this might be a good time to say, I had a couple people come to me and their concern is, it's really difficult to get service people here in Westlake to come out, and their concern is if we regulate this too much, service people will quit coming to Westlake.
Potentially, right, you become a deterrent.
In Dune City. So I'm just gonna put that out there, that's a concern that several people expressed to me.
Okay.
But what I was gonna do is start with this first section, if I could, the purpose and scope. I think the whole thing should be rewritten, and I have rewritten it.
All right.
And.
And this is a trend, right? Every time we start with an ordinance, like the definitions don't make any sense and.
Right, and this looks like definitions, and I don't think it should look like the definition section, if you pass that down, that's what I think should be a purpose and scope,
These are all the same?
all the same.
Okay.
Did you make it out?
I did.
I like that. Thank you.
It's just a short paragraph to me, purpose and scope is the beginning, just to tell you what it's gonna go over. The way it's written, it looks like definitions, and definitions come after. So I would propose something like that for a change.
You got here to simplify, right? Instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, it would just be a paragraph.
And F I left off completely because it's under exemptions.
Well, I like it.
Okay.
And I'm glad you caught the awkward preposition in there. Acquired of any person, it's acquired by any person.
The wording of it's really bad, and to me, I talked to Lila about it before, a purpose and scope to me is a paragraph of what you're going to talk about. So, I just proposed that something like this, if, that was my first shot at it.
So this is the first, we just introduced this tonight, and the previous ordinances, when we've gone through, like Susan just pointed out, do we want to go through and rewrite the whole thing one sentence at a time, or do we want to scour the smaller entities in the neighborhood? Because we've had pretty good luck with Bonita and some of the others that they were similar size-ish, because I think some of these were taken from bigger communities, and they've got a whole lot of things in there, and they're like, they talk about police power, and what are you gonna do?
That's why I have notes on it.
I think this one was taken in part from Newport.
I think a lot of ours were from Newport, and Newport at this point is bigger, it's got a police department, and it changes the way that they do a lot of things. And so the last couple we stole were from smaller communities. We looked at Depot Bay and Yachats and Bonita, and,
They're even a lot bigger.
I think
what's that?
They're a lot bigger than us.
Bonita is, but it doesn't have its own police department, they rely on the sheriff's department, that sort of thing, so it's sort of reflected in the way they do enforcement and things like that, and so they had shorter, simpler ordinances, and the other core is, and I wish Rich was here because I know he's got an opinion, a very strong opinion about this, do we want to look at licensing a whole bunch more categories, a couple more categories? Because in the middle of this, it's really awkwardly written. You know, it's written like big city, we license everything, and then it says, except everybody's exempt except this couple of categories. And that's kind of the core of this. Are we interested in licensing all the categories, and which categories do we need to add?
If they do business in the city, they need to have a license.
Yeah, the examples I looked at that looked cleaner,
Mhm.
where everything's covered with the exception of these things.
Right, and they carve out like 3 things. We don't care about, you know, whatever.
Yeah, we can get into the exceptions, but it's
Lemonade
trying to
stands.
classify the
Against the
categories that
cut
are
ones.
permitted
Yeah.
is an endless,
Right.
you're chasing everything.
Right.
I see Igor's point here, and I sympathize with him. He's out there trying to do code enforcement. Somebody says, well, I'm working on it. But to me, if I'm driving around, I'm the code enforcement, I'm driving around, it's a pickup, it's got a trailer in the back, 2 lawnmowers, weed whackers, you know, and all that stuff. You're not the kid next door at the Boy Scout.
Right.
You're doing business. And I think what he's asking for, so he can make his decision there on the spot, not have to run it around, what do you think on this one? You know, and I'm all for that.
If I could add to that, Duke, here's the problem. The application shows that you have to have a CCB or an LCOB. And the person will say, I don't have one, so I'm exempt from your business permit.
And that happens too,
Yeah.
especially with
And then it turns
window
out,
cleaners.
are they really exempt, or they just didn't get one from the state?
Yeah,
They
did one.
fly under the radar.
Yeah. Or the old word is, I talk to the state says I don't need it. I go, I don't really care what you talk to the state, we have city rules here.
Yeah,
So the application will be updated after the ordinance is updated, right?
yeah.
You would go update the ordinance and then come back and update the application
And so
amendment.
you
Yeah, of course.
you can strike that language. You don't need that state license if you're doing, like, if you think it's appropriate, you know, if you're parking a truck and a trailer or whatever that
The
is.
same thing as this right here.
Um,
Trying to do.
And right now, we have one license price, right? Is it 85?
No, it went up to 125.
125 a year, no matter what it is. And one of the things that, because I don't want to chase anybody off if it really is a really small business, we can do fees by resolution after we're all done, and maybe that's tiered. You know, somebody that does $5,000 a year worth of business here is a $50 license, but somebody does, you know, 50,000 or 500,000. We got people building big custom homes that are doing a
But then
lot
we're
of it.
gonna be chasing,
Incomes.
yeah,
That's gonna, yeah, it's gonna require them to report how much they're earning.
I mean, we already have
Well,
trouble with short-term
Yeah,
rentals.
that's true. Yeah, but it could just
They
be
already have
tiered.
enough to do in
This type of business is $50 and this type of business is 125 and this one's 250.
So the fee that they pay is just to cover the administration. It's not to generate revenue, right?
Right.
So we set a low fee to just get the license, to make sure that they're meeting all the requirements, and then have the penalty that's severe enough to motivate them to get the license. Hey, it's $50 for a license, it's very low, just so that we make sure that you're square, you're not gonna cause any undue
But that
harm.
doesn't cover our administrative costs, that's why we raised it to 100.
Okay, whatever the minimum is to cover the administrative.
But we
costs.
also had a very small number because it's so limited too, that's what,
Right.
part of what drove the 125. So if we had 20 other categories, maybe it goes to 75. But we have 100 licenses instead of, how many do we have right now?
Like 100 and,
A whole lot more.
I know, but like it was like 130,
No, there's way more than that.
where are we?
Okay.
I mean, I was gonna count them today and I didn't get that done because I just updated that sheet.
I think I did.
But the good thing, what I was gonna also add, you have a lot of good pros here too. In Dune City, it's a rolling year. It's not a calendar year.
Right, whenever they show up, whole
So
life.
whenever I stop somebody from Eugene and I tell them that they need a business permit, they go, oh, but it's the end of the year. I go, don't worry, you're good for 12 months once
Right.
you apply.
Right, you're not paying for
It's
the
not-
last month.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
not a
year.
calendar
And
year.
then start
So
over.
they like
Yeah.
that. But I think it's more of an educational thing too, because a lot of people from Eugene, they don't know that they need a business permit.
Right.
And when I talk to them, they're good about it. They go, I'll go back to the office and get one.
Frankly, you hear that in every city, because wherever the biggest city is, or the county, they'll all say, I'm Lane County. I'm like, I know, but now you're inside the city limits, unincorporated Lane County, you're covered, but not. And they have that hard time following that too. They're like, well, it says I'm in Florence. I'm like, oh, don't even get started on your mailing address.
Yeah, I know, a lot of people say I got one in
Florence,
Florence.
and Lane County.
Florence is a different story.
Right.
So let me ask a theoretical. So I have the business license application here. Let's say that I am Larry's Grass Cutting Service. I don't need to have a landscaper
Right.
license. So if I came in and filled this out, because I'm gonna make more than $500 cutting people's grass, you could have the CCB, BCD, OLCB registration numbers, the bond, the liability, you could put all that on there. That's basically for our information only, but we're never gonna enforce that.
Right, we don't have any
So-
jurisdiction over the
So
state's
if
program.
somebody didn't fill out those boxes, would we send them away? No, they could still get their business license. And how, we're not gonna be the enforcement arm for these other agencies, that's
Right.
their problem.
And
Right.
frankly, we don't even have to fill all that out because you can look it up online.
Yeah.
If they are a licensed
But let's say
contractor,
they're not.
that's public information. If they're not, you just say you're just a lawn cutting service and you're.
Is that our job to enforce that they
No.
have a landscaper license? It's
No.
not our job. It's the
Right.
consumer.
I currently tell them, fill it out to the best of your ability and get the business permit.
Okay,
Yeah, so you could do Larry's grass cutting service, and just do the top few lines,
Right.
pay the $125, which I think is an appropriate fee, and just be done with it. And then that way, people are not gonna get kind of wrapped around a pole. Well, like Igor was saying in his letter here, people are saying, well, because you wrote it, it doesn't apply to me. I like
Right.
Pam's idea.
just make it apply to everything.
That's right.
Okay.
Except I'd still like to carve out for the Boy Scout who lives next door.
Right, that's where the acceptance goes.
Right. So we have to figure that out.
Well, we're not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop one kid who's just cutting the grass. Because I was
Unless you
asking.
maybe see him pulling a trailer one.
But if
day.
he has a trailer and he's got 3 trucks, then I know.
Because if he starts working the whole neighborhood, then he might
At
develop
that point,
that
it's worth
trailer.
$125.
173.
173
So-
licenses. And they all get liability policy? Is that part for every?
I know we asked that, but do they all have
I
that?
don't think so.
They are supposed to have, if they have CCB, they have to be licensed and bonded.
Yes.
But they're not required to submit that to you, or they
Yes.
are?
But again,
If they
there's
are,
nothing we can do with that information other than we verify that they're a licensed contractor. You'd be running through the state contractor board if there was a problem, or the homeowner would, or whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that,
If their license is current with CCB and the state, generally they are current on their license. And you can go on there and it will tell you if they have been expired in the last 5 years, how many times or.
okay,
Yeah, it's pretty evident on the board when they pull it up.
right.
Or they'll tell you how many violations, how many
I
all.
was gonna say, the CCB site is very good. It goes back to like 2005.
Yeah, if there's pending hearing or violation or whatever,
So
yeah.
that's the way I check on, you know.
Okay,
And they have those, what are they, be on the lookouts for the people too that are proposing us to get people.
no,
One thing I've noticed on Facebook is that there's a lot of seniors who put a post out there like, I need some help.
right,
My
clean
veg-
gutters,
My
or-
vegetation is overwhelming my home.
Doing
I just need
shrubs.
some, and there'll be half a dozen, just individuals saying, well, I can help you out, just private message me. Okay, well, I'm not sure that that requires somebody getting a business license unless they're advertising, you know, that they're
Yeah.
running a business. If
I
they're
see
just-
that, and some of them are the businesses, they'll say it's J&J Excavation
Oh,
and
JNC,
Landscape,
they're up there all
or-
the time, yeah.
and they'll
He
put
does
their
a good
number,
job responding.
and they are a business, right?
Yeah.
And
So-
you're right, if it's the next door neighbor saying, I'm just gonna come over and help, I'm gonna bring my weed
That's
whacker.
fine, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't require anything, whether they pay or not, right? That's just
Right.
between neighbors.
I think it's more the formal, they got the truck, they got a lot of tools,
Yeah.
they got the trailer, you know, that sort of thing. They got the uniform on.
Going from customer to customer,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not just your next door neighbor or your Boy Scout, it's something different.
True.
I would also thought of something else Michael reminded me, that I know right now that it's whenever they get a business license, it's good for 12 months. But that really, staff then has to track all that.
Yeah.
What would be the difference if we had it go from, for fiscal year? So it goes from July 1st to the 30 June, which is our budget year. And so they're all due at the same time, and then we know how much money we have for each year.
and
That
then
doesn't
prorated.
work. Because people from the valley come over here to work and they'll work 3 or 4 jobs and they're just here for that small amount of time, a week or a month, and then they're gone.
So you'd rather get them the minute they walk in, sign up?
Yeah.
So
Give them 1 year
when, you
from
know,
that date.
no, I understand, when they show up, they're done, but you don't prorate the year. So if they only do one job, they do one job, they pay the full fee. This would be the same thing. It would just be, when they come in, it's good from July 1st to June 30th.
Yeah, but what if somebody gets caught in May?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't wanna pay $125 for 2 months.
I think it should
Well,
be for.
that's my-
And
And
the
it's
whole
been brought to our
amount.
attention.
Well, I'm trying to watch staff's time as well as
Yeah,
other things.
so
There's
that's
a-
the
there's
question,
a-
does it actually help? Because it's more real time for you guys, right?
Well,
So
plus, I think you're pushing it all into her budget cycle. I think it's better spread over the year.
that's what we found with the short-term rentals. The original period all ended at the fiscal year.
Mhm.
And now if they choose to redo, and then they're on a year, they get staggered a little bit,
A
but,
little bit, they're staggered a little bit.
but
Yeah.
it's all in a computer now, so we know.
We're
if
talking
something's coming
about
up.
$16,000. That's not gonna make or break this one way. or
It's
the
on,
other.
I'm gonna imagine, do you have it on a spreadsheet?
Yep.
So I
She
mean,
does.
it's a simple
Yeah,
formula
you know
to
what the
figure
date
out,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It shouldn't be that much to figure out on how many need to, in
Because
this
we do
month
it
and
from
that
the
month.
first day of each month.
Yeah.
If
I
you get a
understand that,
license,
all I'm just saying is you're sending out notices now. I'm trying
yeah.
to cut down mailings and staff time, so.
and we
it was-
send a
it
postcard
was
saying it's
just an
renewed, that's
idea.
cheaper.
I thought it would be
It's,
very
yeah,
beneficial to.
it's not a bad idea, but I find that they're more agreeable to pay when I tell them it's a rolling 12 months.
Yeah, I
than
think
of just a calendar year.
I would worry about the compliancy of like, if we didn't do the 12 months, that, well, I'm only gonna be doing this for 2 more months, I'm just gonna eat the cost of a
Or they
penalty.
say we're here for one job.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear that all the
But what they're
time.
charging people for that one job, they can take the $125 out of it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
I've been on the other end of that.
All right, well, we give the staff the flexibility. I mean, we don't have to decide when the bills go out. You know,
I'm
but
just
it's a
saying,
good
there's
suggestion.
options.
Yeah,
The way
if
I
it
built
helps,
the spreadsheets the
changes.
last couple of years, it's really simple.
okay.
Yeah, because she's already billed January, I mean, so.
All right.
Good.
I know it's-
I don't like sending out all mailings, that's what I'm trying.
Oh, I know, I got that, yeah.
Cost of it, mailings are going up again.
I send a lot of emails to a lot of the businesses that I know, especially the local ones. It's easier for them if I just send them an email.
And now they can pay online
Yes, I was gonna say, now we.
without the post-it note method, one of these days.
We're getting there.
All right, so it sounds like that just anybody doing business that's over the $500 is the desire of the council? Does that make, does that?
I agree,
Okay.
anybody that is generating funds in a business style should be paying a business fee license or
Right.
business permit. I mean, I understand helping your neighbor, I understand the Boy
Yeah,
Scout,
right.
that's all completely, but if you are,
Because that's not your primary business.
correct, if you are running a business and you are funding,
Okay,
it's the same thing with an Airbnb, it's the same thing with people that are doing hair, it's the same thing with
I think
people that are, you
it's
know,
one of those things, sometimes
it's an income.
hard to describe, but you'll know it when you see it, right? When it's a trailer, a dedicated trailer with a logo or a magnet on the truck, that's a business
It's
versus
pretty obvious.
versus two brothers and a lawnmower
Yes.
saying, we're helping our, you know,
And they're on
my
bikes.
hands.
Right.
or
You
whatever.
know?
Right.
Yeah, or a kid towing a lawnmower.
But even the
on a bike.
contractors, you gotta be careful, because I know two brothers who drive their trucks that are not marked, and they have their guys that work for them,
Yeah,
and they have been in business in Florence and out here forever,
yeah.
and they do not have a letter on their truck. But I know their trucks.
That's why we need you, Pam, and Igor.
Right, it's not that big a town, right?
That's right.
So then we're just taking out this paragraph that he's talking about, which is
All
the
the
exceptions.
exemptions.
Oh, that's it, more to it than that.
Well, yeah, and they cleaned it up,
Yeah,
right?
other than that, I have notes on the whole thing.
It's awkward, but, yeah, so
I
last
like
time
what
we
Chris
did this.
said,
So are we
is you
gonna
put
look for
everything in
another
there,
one?
you put an exemption
Well-
list out there.
Yeah, let's have that conversation. So, do you want to look for another one, or go through this, you know, make all the markups and give it to Lila and have her type something up? You know, to show everyone.
I like how we've done in the past, go with the smaller one and
Right,
This has a lot, so.
exactly, otherwise you're basically rewriting every sentence.
I like to look at the smaller ones
Okay.
that we've done.
Well, let's do that, because I don't want to stay all night, if we're ultimately, you know, if we might.
Where can we get a smaller one from?
We just look at smaller communities, yeah.
Look at what
the
we've done on
webpages
the
and
past
stuff.
ones.
There's a couple other entities we always look at when we do that, if we're gonna steal an ordinance.
We can check with Lakeside and places like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Got a
what we
lot.
hope to accomplish is to
Businesses.
pull people in like the window
We don't have any
cleaners, right?
businesses.
Yeah.
People that are
If it's a
generating
bona fide
funds as
business,
an
they're making
income.
$500 in DC, and they should get a business license.
Well, we got 6 commercials,
And
that's it.
at least,
Second.
I think at least 3 of us work from home. And I'm not adverse for a home occupancy permit. They're usually not as expensive, but historically, that's been exempt. We have a number of different kinds of businesses working from home.
Maybe I'll
We're
look
all-
on a permit on those.
We're all the quiet ones. I don't generate any waste or traffic or anything. I'm just on the computer.
Yeah,
In
most
in
of the
another
examples,
state.
I think ours, based on the way I read ours and the examples, it would be exempt.
Continue to be exempt. As long as, yeah, I just want to bring it up. I'm not trying to sneak out anything.
Well,
I work from home part.
I compare that to, let's say you're an eBay power seller and you have the UPS truck pulling in front of your house every single day. That's a lot of traffic.
I get Amazon delivery almost every
I
single
know,
day, and I don't
you're
sell
buying.
anything.
You're buying, you're not selling.
Right.
So, I'm just saying if somebody had a big
It's the
inventory.
same amount of traffic.
Right, right. So I'm just saying it depends on the impact
Yeah.
on the neighbors and the
Yeah,
community.
the place I came from, if you generate any extra waste or had customers, the people that came
Right,
and parked and had whatever, tattoo removals or whatever you were doing, versus, the brain trust over here, we just get paid to look at things and
Right.
give opinions, and
Right,
someone
that's-
pays for that.
that
Shocks
should be
me.
exempt, I think.
Shocks me, in my case.
You need to talk to Florence.
Anyway, okay, then we can leave that alone. I just wanted to bring it up, because I'm not,
Yeah, we just make sure it's.
I don't want to be bashful,
The
yeah.
LLC model one's pretty good, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. Well, then, we don't have to go through the sentence by sentence, we'll leave it to staff, we'll look for available options at the next meeting or whenever you're prepared to give us options, and then we'll do this again and then show it to the public, to whichever one we're trying. And from a public comment perspective, I don't think either of you work from home or anything, but do you have an opinion?
We had, my brother did for a period of time. I think that's a real hard.
Well,
We just talked about.
in general, business licensing in general, if you
What
get any
you said-
heartburn?
Yeah,
or-
I think you guys are going in the right direction.
Okay.
Yes, don't spend 10 evenings to look at something that they've done in half a dozen places and cut and paste and then talk about it.
Okay, very good.
Well, I have to say, a lot of these people are really struggling to make money too. And we're not, just talking about the Boy Scouts or the kid next door, our
Sure.
brothers mowed lawns, when we were kids. We all did work that was
Oh, yeah.
young. But I do feel for people in this area that are, as you know, the economy's not good now. And if you have to have a license, say in Florence, in Dune City, in Reedsport, in Mapleton, and everywhere you go, I don't know how people could afford to do that. So I feel for them, I do.
Yeah, no, well taken. So, we'll just leave this alone for now, we'll continue it to a future meeting, and, if everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
That takes us to citizens' input, anything else? We've got, we have 4 citizens, we're all citizens, anything from the audience?
Not tonight. Well, this is something that I know that Larry has brought up a lot, that, we're continuing to have a lot of problems with the internet and our TV connections, and is there anywhere else we can go? It seems like the same company owns everything, and it's just been horrible lately. I don't know. if
The
you guys-
competition's coming. Hayek has
Yeah,
got
Hayek is
a big
coming.
cabinet on Canary, they're getting their infrastructure in, and they're gonna start extending, and you'll have a
Coming down Clear
high-speed
Lake.
option
Yeah.
that's potentially 10 times faster, and right now they're advertising for the same price. So it's, I think we'll have a good choice. And usually what happens is Spectrum will up their game when there's competition, and
Yeah.
suddenly things will improve. For no reason they want to advertise to the public, but yeah, they don't have to spend any extra time or effort here because you don't have a
Exactly. It
choice.
seems like it was better. I'm just wondering why it's gotten so bad, and that all of you have shared having problems too. I'm like, what
They
is
all
going on?
try to blame it on our monitors and want to
Yeah.
send us a new one. And it doesn't do any good.
Yeah, so
I
that's
haven't had
all,
any
but we
trouble
also
lately,
have
but-
the same problem.
I did, and it was my modem.
I had my class
At work.
today and it cut my Zoom out twice
Did it?
within 30 minutes.
And I've had a lot of phone problems too, which I didn't used to have, and we were with Spectrum.
That's
then,
probably
too.
the number of customers.
Yeah.
As phones and, you know, people, everybody's got one. Because they haven't built any new antennas around here.
And was it, I believe, it might have been Rich, but somebody was talking about the fact that we used to have a receiver out here or something where we actually had better coverage, and I don't know if there's any way we could look into having that happen again, or why it's so sketchy, or why it's going out a lot. It's not necessarily weather related, my problems are yours.
We've talked to the cell companies before and they said they wouldn't put it out here because there's not enough people.
It's too expensive.
So we're just not.
We've done that previous years.
Yeah.
They do ignore the population.
I could try and reach out to Spectrum yet again.
Yeah, we keep saying, hey, can we talk to somebody? And they're like, oh, we'll see if we can set something up. You know,
And then-
once they got their franchise agreement approved.
Goes quiet.
They're done.
Yeah, and the franchise agreement wasn't for wireless. We asked them, you know, who do we talk to? Oh, that's a different, you know, we'll put you in touch, and nothing seems to happen, but.
It just seems strange, because growing up here, I mean, we had no problems growing up. It's like the more technology develops,
Yeah,
the worse.
I think we're a
Our
couple of
services
years
got-
away from satellite phones.
Yeah.
I mean, the new iPhone, when you're in the boondocks, will say you can send a message via satellite. Next step, you're not gonna care if it's Spectrum, because it'll be, coverage will be everywhere. And at first, it'll probably suck everywhere, but, excuse my French, but we'll get there. That's the next generation. It's gonna be satellite, and you pretty much could have a phone call from here to, you know, Tennessee on the interstate and never lose a signal, if you wanted to, so we'll.
It's gonna be like a supply and demand.
Yes.
Everybody's
Yeah.
stuff isn't gonna work until
And
you
at
buy new
first,
stuff.
it's expensive, and there's not that many, like satellite radio, and then
Yep.
it became real common, and now the tuners built in new cars, and, I'm addicted to satellite radio, so
Yeah.
I don't like.
And it still goes out of
Changing
drive.
stations.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm saying,
depending on
we
where you are.
personally are losing connection maybe a dozen times a day, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
And I just, I mean, and people call me, and, you know, suddenly they're not there, or I'm not there, and their phones aren't working, and we never had these problems. So, you know, this company that we all pay all this money to, who controls us all, because we really don't have an option of going to someone else,
Yeah.
is just not getting the job done for us, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think they've invested in the infrastructure, but the demand continues to climb. So you
Yeah.
have more
Sure
people
does.
putting more stress on old infrastructure.
Equipment's getting old too.
Yeah.
And they don't wanna change it out because there's not enough demand.
Well,
So it's a cost analysis by the companies.
the demand is getting higher, they just don't want to supply
Yeah.
to meet the
And
demand.
the worst, Spectrum owns no cell phone tower, but sells all the service around here. When you get the internet, they say you get first year free. And we all talk to a Verizon tower. And so Spectrum's completely riding on Verizon's coattails.
Yeah.
And
And
Verizon's gonna give their.
Verizon looks and goes, we only have,
First.
we only have 400 customers here. Why is that tower always busy? It's like a Spectrum has another 2,000. And so Verizon's not gonna pay to upgrade on behalf of Spectrum. And
Yeah.
Spectrum hasn't spent a nickel around here on cell phone. You know, when we look at where their antennas were and stuff, so.
And the secondary providers like them, Spectrum, or people right on T-Mobile networks, they're always the lower priority.
Mhm.
So they'll give priority to their primary customers,
Yeah.
Verizon will.
Yeah. All right. Well, number 9 is for the good of the order. I'll start with Duke.
No, I'm still bitching about the same things I did 2 weeks ago.
Okay?
Nothing new.
I appreciate you. Melissa.
I'm good.
Okay, Susan.
I just hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and we look forward to safe holiday.
Yeah. Thank you. Chris?
Nothing.
Larry?
Nothing.
All right, me neither. I hope to see everybody Saturday for a holiday party.
Are you coming?
Were you saying 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock?
Well,
I remember
we're gonna have a
something
doing
like that.
games
Both.
at 11,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
dinner's at 1. So you don't have to be here at 11 if you wanna come just hang out with us, have food.
We'll see, I'm not sure about your.
Oh, yeah, we need it. Sorry.
Before Duke runs out.
If we're done, yeah, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Anybody want a second? Larry? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. We're adjourned at 7:19.